Hey friends, and welcome to another week on the homestead. Let's see what we got accomplished.
Hey friend, and welcome back. So this week I wanted to take some time to focus on a few things that I could get accomplished that would make our gardening next year a little bit easier. And the first one that I wanted to tackle was getting some garden pots painted and ready to put out into the garden next year. So what I did is I found these little pots at Walmart for like $2, and I just primed them with a white paint and then painted them these pretty colors like this. And what I'm going to do is put all of our herbs in these and then transplant them to the garden next year. So here I am taking our Expert Gardener potting mix again and putting it into each of our little pots here. And I made 4 holes for each of these things that I'm planting here. And I put multiple seeds in each hole with the hope that, they'll all sprout. And then I can just pick through and transplant some of them into the garden. And I'm planning on keeping some of them in these pots just so that my dad has fresh herbs throughout the winter growing on the windowsill that he can use while he cooks. So that's what we got accomplished here. Okay friends, welcome to the front yard. So this is 2 separate garden beds. There's one all along the bottom there, and then inside of this top part is also a little flower bed with just a few cute things, couple roses, and I'm not sure what this is, but I love it, so I might transplant some of it. And I'm going to get rid of that bush because he's just kind of half dead and ugly. But the plan is to weed all of this. And this day I did do a little bit, but you couldn't even tell, so we're going to tackle this again another day.
That's going to be a family project later in the summer because at this point we're just going to have to take all the rocks out of that top part in order to get it fully weeded and to be able to plant anything else in there. So I'm going to wait until I have help. So I'm going to do the smaller area that we affectionately call Nevada. So I'm going to get that ready because we have some beautiful flowers coming from my aunt today. So let's do it.
Welcome to Nevada, friends. We usually have flowers or, well, weeds more recently in this little area. But here I just cleared all of that out. And then I also went through and tried to get most of the weeds out from between the cracks in the pavement as well. And I did that along the garage right here. And then also got about halfway down the middle of the driveway and then began to overheat, so I gave up.
So we are out in the garden today because I have some very exciting things to show you. So we're going to start in the smaller little area here, and then we will move on to the I don't know why I blocked the camera, but we'll move on to back there. So here we go. So in here, I gotta come back through and weed this, but one of our pumpkins has popped up. I think we lost that seed to a squirrel or something. There's a little hole right there in the top. I think we lost that one. And this guy hasn't come up yet, but oh no, he's right there. So perfect, which means that one right there is probably the same. And then one of the peas that we planted in here has also come up, so that is a plus. I'll be honest, I was feeling a little discouraged because it's been about a week and a half since I planted this stuff and nothing was coming up. I thought I was doing something wrong. I thought the whole thing was going to be a wash. However, I came out here yesterday to water, and guys, look at this. We have peas, we have pumpkins over here, and our butternut squash has also come up. So, one thing I wanted to talk about these peas. So I am aware that the green arrow and the wando are actually shelling peas. And if I learned anything from Becky at Cee Homestead, which I've learned a lot. And thank you, Becky, for sharing all of your wisdom with the rest of us. I know I've certainly learned a lot from your channel. But I know that Becky had planted shelling peas as well as, oh, it's starting to rain. She had planted shelling peas as well as, or no, I think she had planted only shelling peas one year and decided that that was a no-go. And I didn't think about that when I planted these, but so I probably won't be planting shelling peas again. However, these snap peas are doing fantastic, and I'm honestly, I'm a little shocked and I'm a little blown away. So one other thing I wanted to show you guys real quick. So this is that tester pot of all the test seeds that I did. So these are our cherry tomatoes. I mean, they're kind of doing fantastic in here. And then these are those red brandywine. And then look, we've got some carrots, which I don't think are gonna do too well because they do kind of look like they're bolting on me a little bit. But that's okay. And I'm not really sure what these are. I don't know what that is. So, and I think it's pretty. So I'm just gonna leave him. But yeah, there's another little carrot there. I believe that's an onion. So that's fun. Oh, there's more there. Yeah, if you guys know what this is, I don't think it's one of the carrots that I planted. It might just be a weed. But if anybody knows what that is, let me know in the comments. So yeah, that's what I've got going on today. I'll be doing some weeding, a little bit of watering. Not going to be doing any planting today. But the next major weeding project that I have, other than the front yard stuff, which I'm waiting until my brothers and sister-in-law are able to come over and help me with that. But this is the backyard. So I've got this whole area to weed still, and I'm going to be planting more flowers in here. We're going to definitely get some more of these hostas. I might just break some of these up and kind of plant them over here. I'm going to get rid of that bush right there. I don't really know what it is, but it's just kind of in the way and it doesn't really look all that good right there. Funny story, that is actually a parking meter that my brothers found in the dirt. They dug it out of the backyard over there. Right there is actually where, when we were kids, we dug a giant hole because we thought that would be cool. And it was a pain to fill in. But anyway, so I am going to be keeping some of this, like this stuff, for example. I'm going to keep this, and then we'll probably end up keeping as well, like this stuff, because these get these really pretty purple flowers. So I definitely want to keep these because I love how the leaves look as well. I just think they look really pretty. So that is something I need to do a little bit more research on, like, what these plants are, because if they're not weeds, I don't want to get rid of them. But I think a lot of it might just be like wildflowers and stuff. If you watched last week's video, first of all, thank you and welcome back. But if you watched last week's video, you got a little taste of where the gardening kind of comes from in my family, and that is definitely my grandmother, whose MO was to just steal. What is going on with that plant? We'll get back to that plant in a second. But her MO was just to steal pretty flowers that she saw and plant them at her house. But I want to show you guys this plant over here real quick.
Well, friends, I have a Japanese beetle problem in my garden. Unfortunately, these guys have completely decimated this plant. I don't think this one's going to survive. But I will be trying to combat these guys in a natural way by planting more geraniums around the garden. Because they are attracted to those. Here's a couple other things that you can do to help combat them. I'm not personally going to use insecticides, but if that's the best thing or the only option that you have personally, you know, by all means, do what you need to do to solve it.
Yeah, I think that does it for today. So I'm going to do some weeding. I also threw a little bit of compost and, well, compost being some eggshells and then some of the chives that I pruned off onto our tomato trellis to get that started. I also have sorry, there's a motorcycle going by. I also have the compost area, the cold compost area, started in that back corner. So yeah. I guess I will see you guys tomorrow. So thank you. All right.
Tomorrow.
And now we are back out in the front yard. I am going to attempt to tackle this area. So what I want to start by doing is going around and releasing all of that black like weather stripping stuff that was around the edge of this bottom bed. Over the years, a lot of it has gotten buried by dirt and has grass and other weeds growing over it. So I just went all along the edge and dug that out as best I could and tried to move most of the rocks and some of the loose weeds that I got up into the bed.
So I got this part basically, done until I need to get out all of these rocks. But I just wanted to show you guys like what it is I'm dealing with here. So I went through and I went all the way down and found all of this black, I assume it was a retaining wall kind of thing at some point, but over the years it's gotten buried and covered with rocks and grass and stuff. So all underneath all of this is rocks. As you can see, I literally have to pull up every single one by hand in order to get any of this grass out. I am whooped right now. So I think I'm gonna call it a day on this project for right now. And yeah, we'll come back and we'll try to tackle this again tomorrow. All right. Okay, so before we get into things, I wanted to show you guys what I did yesterday after I lied and said that I was done gardening for the day. So I put straw over everything just to help with water and weeds. And it looks like something is digging in here, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But yeah, and then I also put up some sticks for the peas because some of them were getting pretty tall. But I went to the store today, got a couple of these, so we'll be putting these up instead.
Okay, here I am contemplating my decision of doing this when it is 88 degrees out. But as you can see, I stuck both poles in the ground, and the one that is closest to, well, the one that's on the right hand side of the screen, there is either a very large rock or a collection of rocks right down in that area, and I was not able to fully stick that in the ground, so I will be trying to rectify that situation. Here I am with my temporary solution there. But what I did was I just went through and tied all of these strings together, once at the bottom and then once at the top, and I did leave them a little bit loose so that I do have a little bit of freedom to untie them and adjust the heights as necessary as the peas do end up growing. And here's a very shaky shot of the final product, having them all tied together. I did try to create a bit of tension up at the top there between the poles just to kind of keep everybody in place.
And a little update on our herb pots. We have officially some basil, no cilantro just yet, and no parsley, but we do have some thyme coming up back there. So
and now we move on to that bed in the backyard. There's a lot of plants that I'm keeping up in the front there, so I wanted to start going along the back and clearing out a lot of the bigger weeds and trying to get this daylily back here kind of under control.
All right. I mean, is it perfect? No, but I can tell you I feel a heck of a lot better with it looking like this than how it looked just a couple of minutes ago. So I am going to count this as a win for today back here.
This is what that bed ended up looking like at the end of the day. I went back through and got around the parking meter and right underneath the overhang of the house a lot better, and I will be removing a lot of that periwinkle that has completely overtaken the middle as well.
I had to come in the shade. Once again, I am overheating. Now I have to head to my aunt's house to actually pick up those flowers that I was supposed to pick up the other day. So I'm gonna go do that, and I will see you guys when I get back here. All right, so we're back. We have our flowers. We had purchased these a couple days ago, so some of them are looking a little worse for wear, but that's why I brought these plants in their entirety, so I can just get them in the ground, hopefully save them, and then next year we'll go ahead and split them up, and we'll take some parts of it back to my aunt's house. So let's just let's get into it. Yeah.
At this point in the day, and honestly in the entire week, I was just exhausted. I had done so much work in this garden by myself that I think I may have spread myself a little too thin. So I really just wanted to throw these in here. I don't think any of these are really going to stay in this bed, but I just wanted to get them in the ground just so they don't die on me.
Not in their forever homes, but they are in the ground. So that is a plus in my book. Well, friends, that does it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.